Hey, it's Nick Tumminello here. I want to show you my top 3 alternatives that I think are better than the Pallof Press. So when I say the Pallof Press, this is the exercise that I mean. Sometimes people do it kneeling, half kneeling. There's nothing wrong with this exercise, but I have some exercises that I prefer to do. Here they are. So the first exercise that I prefer to do instead of the Pallof Press is these single arm cable presses. Now I'm going to go through the exercises I prefer and then I'm going to explain why. Second is a push-pull, so it's basically a single arm cable press with an added row. And the third is these cable bar presses. So they're all really different forms of single arm standing cable presses. So the question is, why do I like these versions of single arm cable presses better than the Pallof Press? Well, first off, just to make sure, I have another video that I did years ago describing all the details between form, setup, how to set up the handle for the single arm cable press. So I invite you to check that video out. But the thing that trainers like about the Pallof Press is that it's easy to teach and it teaches this anti-rotation. I'm all for that. And it's standing, so you bring in the hips a little bit. I'm all for that. However, it's not very exciting for a lot of people. It's like watching the grass grow. Now the reply to that is, well, training's not supposed to be fun. Well, what about if you can make an exercise more interesting and more dense and get more done, get what you want to get done from the Pallof Press, but also add more. So when I do a single arm press or any of the variations that I showed you, I'm getting anti-rotation because the cable's trying to pull me that way. I'm also getting anti-extension because the cable's trying to pull me that way as well. So not only am I getting more anti-spinal movement, I'm also bringing in more shoulder and pec, and I'm also working my back leg hip and calf, and I can vary it and go here. So I'm getting everything that the Pallof Press offers you, plus more. So to me, this gets a lot more done. So it maximizes your time, and it's a lot more interesting to do. So if you can make an exercise not only more interesting, but more efficient in terms of what you're getting done, I'm always gonna jump to that. Now, one concern coaches may have is coaching time. This is just as easy to learn as a Pallof Press.